everyone. Thought I would do another live because it seemed to be well received last week. I got quite a few views from it, so thought I would do another one. Although not sure exactly if I've got enough to talk about today, but we'll see. So I've made some notes so that I don't freeze and go when I'm live. So on the way to work this morning, I was listening to the radio and it came on the radio about violence against women and girls and how the police have been told to make it as like in the same category as terrorism. I was like, interesting. Are they finally taking notice of women? I'm not sure about the reasons for that. Is it because they're panicking because they're not doing anything right? This thing about abortion as well, like why? Just why? I don't get it. I really don't understand why they brought that in, because it just seemed to come out of nowhere. So I do have someone joined me. Hello. Please do comment if you're watching. So it just seemed to come out of the blue. There was no public debate. Nobody asked for it. And it's just really suspicious. Like, part of me thinks it's for maybe they're trying to get more parts, organ harvesting, stem cells, that kind of thing. Not sure, because they need that for vaccines, particularly the mRNA. That's the right way around, isn't it? Those new vaccines. Yes. So this morning I went for a walk around where I live, and do you know my last live, and I was talking about Whitley Bay because we're going to have a Let Women Speak there, and my husband watched it afterwards. Oh, hello, we've got chat, people in the chat. Elian, hello. I don't think I've come across you before, so welcome to my channel. And the Boiling Frog, which is Paul, who says, well, we've got too many MPs now who are more interested in emoting than actually dealing with the complexity of law. Not sure what you mean about that. Like, what does that mean? Like, getting a response, emotional response. Yeah, that's possibly. It just seemed to come out of nowhere, though. There didn't seem to be any sort of interaction with the public about it or anything. Anyway, so I was going for a walk this morning, and yes, me last live. You're from South Spain. Oh, Malaga. Yes, I've heard of Malaga. Well, thank you for joining me. So my channel is all about women's rights and women's experiences. So I do a weekly podcast interview, and then I do other videos as well, because I'm a counsellor. And yes, Paul's saying more interested in virtue signalling. They definitely are. I think that's the way of the world at the minute, isn't it? Yeah. So as I was saying, we'll be going all over the place in this video, I think. Where's my hair? What's me? Oh, it's back to front. It's back to front on my screen. So yeah. Anyway. So my last live, I was talking about Whitley Bay because we're having a Let Women Speak event there. And that is where women get the chance to speak in public about what's important to them, their experiences, and it's linked to sex-based rights as well. So we're having a Let Women Speak in my local town. So in fact, I actually live there, so it's really exciting. And so I was talking about Whitley Bay and where I live, and I've lived there pretty much all my life. So I was like, and my husband said I made it sound really bad. So Paul, you were listening to me Whitley Bay, me last live. What did you think Whitley Bay sounded terrible from what I said? Because that's what he said. Anyway, so I was talking about the Rex Hotel, which used to have 2 nightclubs, Jimmy's and Deep. And this morning, like I was walking to the bottom of the street and taking a photo of the sunrise every morning just to try and get some exercise. And I stopped because they're building a cycle lane right the way along the seafront, and so I can't get onto the seafront. It's really bad. So so I stopped going, which means that I haven't been getting me exercise. But this morning I decided, well, yesterday I went for a little walk around the block, even though I couldn't get onto the seafront. And then this morning I went for a little bit of a longer walk. I thought, well, if I'm going to go for a walk, I might as well go for a proper walk. So I went for a walk a little bit further, and I went past the Rex Hotel, which is no longer the Rex Hotel. It's been the Rex Hotel for a lot of years, as long as I can remember. But since about 2020-ish, it closed down, and they've been refurbishing it and turning it into a care home, which is, well, I mean, it looks fabulous, but it's taken like 5 years, and the work seems to have stopped and started. Anyway, so it's now called Bayview House. Yeah. So all the workmen were there. It's like a busy, you know, I can't think of the word. Anyway, it's like buzzing with activity. They've got adverts outside saying they're recruiting for staff. So it looks like that'll be opening soon, and it's huge. I mean, it's massive. So it's interesting to see if they'll be able to fill it, although it's got prime location spot overlooking the sea. So if I had to pick a care home, it probably would be on the seafront if I could afford it. Anyway. Yeah, so my husband did say that I made Whitley Bay sound terrible, but it isn't. It's really good. It's changed a lot over the years though, because it was like quite a tacky seaside place, like, I don't know, Blackpool, Scarborough, probably similar to that. And you used to be able to get candy floss and buckets and spades and stuff like that. But now it was like really derelict for quite a long time, like run down. And but over the past probably 10 years, it's had quite a lot of money spent on it. So there's some nice places as well, lots of restaurants, not as many bars, because it used to be like we used to have a street full of bars, which I walked up today reminiscing I was. There's hardly any bars. There's one block that's overgrown and derelict, this block of really old houses, which is such a shame because I love old houses. They've got such character, but all the windows are smashed or boarded up. But other than that, like a lot of the other buildings have been done up and turned into flats. So that's good. So Paul's saying the decline of our seaside towns has been sad. I recently went to Margate. It was depressing. Well, Whitley Bay isn't depressing anymore because it's been done up and it's had a lot of investment. The Spanish city has had probably the most investment, and that it looks fabulous. And the lighthouse and the Spanish city, which are the two main landmarks, have been painted because they are looking a bit grubby. So they've been painted and they're looking beaming white. And sometimes you can even see the northern lights from down there, although I never have, because like once I'm in my pajamas at night, I just don't want to go anywhere, even if it's at the bottom of the street. So never seen the northern lights where I live, but I have been to Iceland and saw them there. So yes, so if I made Whitley Bay sound terrible in my last video, it's not really, but it is a bit woke now. So because it's been done up and it's a really nice place, it's attracted a lot of people from the south who aren't as polite, I have to say, as the locals. But it's pushed the house prices through the roof, and like everybody wants to live there now. It used to be like Tynemouth was the place to be, which it still is. That's like a little village, but at the seaside, and it's got a castle, priory and castle, and it's got lots of restaurants, and it's well worth a visit. And King Edward's Bay, which is the beach at Tynemouth, you have to go down like loads of steps. It's quite steep, so probably not good if you're disabled. I think it might have ramps, though. It's been a lot of years since I went down there. That has got a restaurant on the beach called Riley's, and it does all seafood. It's quite, well, it sounds pretentious and over the top. I haven't been, but apparently if you don't book, you have to wait for 2 hours to get served. And then, like, somebody local did a video on it. Now, how much did he say he paid? I think he said it was 36 quid for a wrap, monkfish wrap, but apparently that's the signature thing that they do. So it's always quite popular, but I've never been to that one. It's Ian doesn't really like fish that much. He does like it, but he wouldn't like go to a restaurant for fish. And plus, he doesn't really like people, so it's a bit of a problem if you have to wait 2 hours for your food. I have to say, I do agree with him. Waiting 2 hours for food is not my idea of fun, and Ian doesn't like booking either, so that's sometimes an issue. And so the other thing about Ian, and he will be watching this later, he's not watching it yet because he's he does a session on a Friday morning. He does these art sessions. So we've been together like 21 years, right? And it was only when he started doing these art sessions that I realised that he's actually a good artist. So yeah, that's good. So he's doing that this morning anyway, and he's coming in later because he's got some work to do. But he will be watching this later because he watches everything that's on my channel. But the other day, do you know what he asked us? I couldn't believe it. He asked us what OnlyFans is, so I had to explain what OnlyFans is. And I only know because of stuff that I've watched on YouTube. I haven't been on OnlyFans or anything. It's not my sort of thing. But yeah, he wanted to know what it was, so I had to explain to him. And he was like, oh, that's what I thought. So I thought that was quite funny that he didn't know. The other thing I wanted to talk about today was what I'm being called, because I'm always being called names on the internet. So it's Terf, transphobe, bigot, what else? Nazi, far right, yeah, all those things, ridiculous. So I had some new ones this week because I've been posting about the Casey review report, whatever you call it. Baroness Louise Casey has made the grooming gang thing back into. I think I might put this other light on. I'm a bit dark, aren't I? Let's see. So, oh, yeah, is that better? A bit. So I've been posting about that because it's really bad, and I think the reason that it's took so long to get it properly dealt with is because loads of people were called racist for bringing it up. That's one of the tools they used anyway, I think, in order to stop people from talking about it. And I suspect that it's been covered up on purpose by politicians, and they look really stupid now, don't they? Really, really stupid. Anyway, the things that I've been called, I was called a twat. That's a new one. I don't think I've been called that before on the internet. And I was called a racist as well. So I'm having to block quite a few people because I don't really want to be called names on the internet. I don't. It's not very good, is it? So yeah, I'm quite used to it, so it doesn't really upset me. But like, why would you call someone names for standing up for women's rights? It's like, why is it controversial? Like, everyone loves women's rights, but it's really difficult because then you might start talking about sex-based rights, and then some women go, oh, not that sort of women's rights. We like trans people, they're nice and all of that. And I'm not against trans people. But that's the names that you get called. And actually the name transphobe's quite funny because it like a phobia is like an like a, an extremely irrational fear of something, but actually it's not irrational to be scared of men in women's spaces because they shouldn't be there. Oh, we've got another viewer. Welcome to Wolf Hugs, who's saying 100% to Paul, but I feel like education is failing kids. People are voting based on feelings rather than facts. That's an interesting way of thinking about it. Education's definitely failing kids. I think I was watching a Lotus Eaters podcast the other day, and they were saying that education's dumbing kids down on purpose to make society stupid, like on purpose, so they don't understand stuff. And the voting thing as well, like it's all well and good voting, and just for those who are new here, I stood in the general election last year for Party of Women, and there was 9 candidates, and I didn't come last, so that was good. I stood for the Party of Women, which is all about women's sex-based rights. Well, it was at the time, it's expanding now to include other things around women's rights. But I stood and I felt it was important to have options for voters, because in previous elections, I was like, well, I don't want to vote for those like main parties, but there isn't anybody else who's saying anything different. So I was quite stuck. And when I stood, it was great because I could vote for myself, which was an amazing experience. I sound like a proper narcissist, don't I? But there was something really weird about voting for myself. But actually voting for something that I believed in rather than just because it was the least worst option, that was really important for me. Even though I knew that the person I voted for, which was me, but like even if that person wasn't going to get in, it was still important on principle that there was some options. And that's the problem with the two-party like system, isn't it? And so it's quite good that Reform are doing taking some of that. In some ways, there's lots of issues with Reform as well, but we do need to break up. We need to send them a message like we're not going to put up with this anymore. So Wolf Hugs is commenting a bit more. So kids leave school not understanding anything about history or democracy. We need to know both to get good candidates. That is very true. I was really interested in history at school, but we didn't really learn that much. It was more the wars. So the World War II. And then someone was trying to tell me Reform would be amazing. They're in Lincolnshire. Who's new mayor? When an MP voted to reduce funding to local councils. Yeah, the people are really highly criticising reform, but I think that's a lot to do with the fact that they're a threat to the status quo and the powers that be don't like it. And Paul's saying, I didn't win when I stood as a candidate, but had an impact that I was told about later. Yeah, I think that's what I'm enjoying. So I got 286 votes and I came 7th out of 9. A lot of the other candidates, I mean, there was 16 of us, which is quite unheard of for such a new small party, but so a lot of the other candidates did come last, but I didn't because there was just so many of us. So I got 286 votes, and I've connected with quite a few of the women who voted for me. And it's lovely because I've got a little WhatsApp group, and they're all like really look up to me and are like, yeah, you did a really good thing, which is quite nice because I've never really been in that position before where I'm admired. A lot of the achievements that I've had in my life, I've just been resented for, to be honest, especially by other women who, unfortunately, women don't support other women's success. So there are women who support me, don't get me wrong, but you kind of notice the negative ones more, don't you? Wolf Hugs is saying reform are not ready for government. Well, the thing is, though, you only get experience by being in there. And how do you get it any other way? And whether they're getting or not, they're sending a message to say we're not going to accept this. And that'll put pressure on the other parties to do something different, which I think is good. It's sending a strong message that the voters aren't happy with what's happening now. So, yeah, so I'm glad that there's other media channels as well that are talking about things from a different angle, because basically I think the BBC used to be a lot better, but now it is very, very biased, and I can't stand it. I don't watch it. But because there's other what am I thinking? There's other like platforms, because YouTube and citizen journalism, I think that's really interesting, that that's like a challenge to the mainstream media, because they can't get away with telling lies now, because we just need to go on the internet, see what's really happening. So I really like all these little channels that are popping up on YouTube and giving us information about what's going on. Yeah, but it was a really interesting experience standing in a general election, and it was, I think it's probably an experience that I'll never forget, because I felt like I was part of something. And although I wasn't the main focus, because I was never going to get in, during the hustings, I really did challenge the MP who we've had since 1997, because he was dismissing reform as far right. And when it was my turn, I got up and said, no, they're not far right. You're just saying that to shut people up, to stop them from saying things. You're calling them names. Yeah, so you're concerned that reform will get in and then fail as the Tories and Labour have. And if people feel there's no hope, well, it doesn't make for a stable country. Yeah, I just think there needs to be a challenge. They need to be challenged. And I think when you get challenged, then people, if people aren't challenged, they don't try to do a good job. It's human nature. So there needs to be more challenge in politics and in government, really. We need more, like people like Claire Fox. She's amazing. She challenges things. And Andrew Bridgen was really good as well. But unfortunately, he didn't get back in. And he was expelled from his party, wasn't he? Just for speaking the truth. And he exposed the post office scandal and the he spoke out on vaccines as well. So even after he'd had one, so we need more voices that are brave enough to say things even when they're not popular, and even when you might get called names for doing it. Yeah, so I've gone through all my list of stuff to talk about. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, so Let Women Speak again. So Let Women Speak is a series of events that basically it's a free speech event where women can get up and talk and say what they need to. And every month at Hyde Park in London. So I'm going to that, not this weekend, but next. I'm really looking forward to it because last time I was there, Kelly J. Keane, who hosts and organises them, she went viral after telling some women who were covered up to free your faces, and it got 24 million views. So it's going to be quite a big one, I think. We're going to have a picnic and Paul's going to be there. So, yes, I will see you there. My husband's going to make us a picnic, so I can't wait for that. It's really good when you're involved in women's rights and stuff, and then you've got a husband who makes all your food and brings you all your drinks and stuff. Yes, we call him Butler Leonardo because he does all of that for me, which is really good. Scrambled egg. Yes, Paul, he does indeed make me scrambled egg. He's actually stopped making scrambled egg because it's not really scrambled. I don't know what he does to it, but it's just like, it's really nice anyway, but it's not scrambled, even though he calls it scrambled, because it's like one big chunk of egg, which tastes very nice. Anyway, he started making poached egg in the morning, so we've been having that for a few weeks now. No scrambled egg. We're having poached through the week, and then we'll have dippy eggs on a Sunday, which is soft boiled egg with soldiers, and on a Saturday we usually have a full English, which I really enjoy. So he makes us a full English every Saturday if I'm there. Really nice. Anyway, enough about food. I'm going to end this live stream, I think, unless anybody else has got any more to say. Oh, yes. Oh, we've had someone else join, so we've now got 4 people watching just as I'm finishing. It's probably Annie. Annie came in at the last minute last time. Yeah, thank you for coming on and joining me for my live stream. I'm going to try and do more live streams because, well, I enjoyed it. And it's nice having a nice chat with people. So, yes, so thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week. I'm going to try and do another live stream next week, so look out for it. And yeah. So, yeah, I try and think about when I'm going to do it, but I don't always know because it depends what's going on. I'm not sure whether to put a post on. Is that the best thing to do? Put a post on and say, because I do announce me who's going to be on my podcast. I do try and let you know in advance what the podcast, who my guest's going to be and stuff. So I could do it there. Yeah, I'll do it there. So next time I come on, I will give you some notice. But I'm thinking about when I can do it. Like maybe do like a certain time every week. So I'm thinking about that, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that that'll work for me because of other commitments. But I will have a think and I'll let you know. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.